intents today is to kind of give you an overview of why we have stepped onto this, what is it that we're trying to achieve, who are going to be connected, what is it that you can expect from this program, and who are being their parents are, and what are certain topics that we could, kind of discuss as we run through this journey. Cool. With no further delay, I'm stepping in to see what's in for us. So basically, first we wanted to kind of share a glossary of the terms that we are going to be using across this program. You would have already seen this in a lot of the shout outs and a lot of, kind of LinkedIn posts that we've been kind of spreading across in terms of this event. So we have been kind of terming our getting their parents as parents who need more support and more kind of shouldering in terms of listening to them, kind of, understanding them better, understanding their situation. So it's more likely people who have signed up for the support and who are like looking forward to probably more experienced parents to kind of step up and give them some. It's not going to be a kind of templated kind of a package of of what could work, but rather it's more of the shoulder and kind of the emotional support in terms of, okay, this might work for your situation. So it's more likely a buddy, and that's where we want is getting their parents to be, kind of they've just stepped in and they're kind of striving to get their into the parenthood range. So that's the getting their parents. And being their parents, as the name suggests, it's parents with more experience in this umbrella, and they are willing to share their own personal experiences and stuff to kind of give the tips and tricks of what could practically work. So we are not going to be solving like major rocket challenges here, but it's ideally as granular as it can be in terms of, okay, this is something my son picked up yesterday, or what is it that I could do about it? Do you have any tips? Two, I'm envisioning this kind of a career for me after being a mother. What is it that you think could be my baby steps that I could take that's towards proceeding to my vision? So the range is quite broad, and it's kind of quite diverse as well in terms of how this getting there and being their parent kind of gets together, collaborates, engages, and has their own kind of space to talk through certain things. So that's where we wanted to kind of term these groups as getting their parents and being their parents. And this is not exclusively played only for the parents group. However, we are also kind of enclosing the carers as well. So if you have any caring responsibilities and you want some support, we are kind of having this program opened for such carers who have either been there or who are getting there, and we try to map them for more of collaboration. So that's with the terms. And yeah, so as I mentioned, if you are getting that parent who need more of a one-on-one support, you just need a person to kind of converse with in regards to your parenting challenges, or maybe to learn more on different parenting styles, or you could even think about career beyond motherhood, or career beyond parenthood. So that's something that this getting that parent would be kind of can expect from this program. And if you're a been there parent, like where you have already experienced, just as we put together on the game before, in terms of, okay, we have got a bunch of experience, and we are now kind of armed to share our experiences to the getting their parents, then this program is still for you in kind of stepping up and sharing your experiences, listening, being that active listener to understand and empathize with the getting their parents situation. I think that's what this program is all for. So if you are getting that parent of this kind, or if you are being that parent willing to share your experiences, this program is all for you. And we are here to kind of support in possible ways to get this program up and running. And I also wanted to kind of, before we move on to the next step of slides, I also wanted to kind of give a massive shout out to the core team who has been working very closely around shaping this initiative right from the thought of having it as like a one-liner. So Jennifer and Carla, you've been so passionate, kind of collaborators on this program. So it's been quite amazing working with both of you. So the core team is Jennifer, Carla, and myself, and we have been kind of having multiple conversations of what would work, what wouldn't, but still kind of iterating over this process and journey. So any feedback, any thoughts, any questions that you might have in and around the program, how it works, or what is it that we could do to shape it better, please do float it around to this group, and we'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you in the days to come. So with that note, I'm now passing it on to Jennifer. Over to you.
Hello, thanks, Sophia. Yeah, so how does it work? I mean, we have tried to kind of give some structure to this program. I think with the knowledge that each pair of buddies, of parent buddies, will of course develop the relationship that they need to have together and what kinds of connections they want to have, how often they want to be in touch. But the idea is to provide a safe space where people who are struggling with the balance of work life and parent life could get some personalized support and have somebody who's looking out for them, who understands their situation, and is sharing their own wisdom of what they've been through. And also, we want to provide support for the people in the program who are serving as been their parents, so who are the mentors, we'll say, to allow them to connect with one another and share their own experience through the program of, what has this experience been like to accompany somebody else and help them along. Because we're, of course, all interested in learning and development, we want to be thinking about what are the learning items that come up in these discussions. Are there specific topics that the getting their parents or the been their parents would need more assistance on? Sapri, if you want to go to the next slide.
Yes. Cool.
Thank you. And so this is just like a rough outline of the timeline for the next couple of months. So we have lists of folks that had already signed up to be either a been their parent or getting their parent. And we met yesterday to discuss the different profiles to try and come up with appropriate matches. So we have a pretty good idea of who would be matched with whom, knowing that we do have a couple more been there signups than getting there. So there are a couple people who maybe won't have a mentor or a mentee just yet, but we'll be getting one, we hope, in the next couple of weeks. And we'll be sending DMs via the Slack to just let people know who we paired them with and giving them their contact details. And so what I would say global structure is the been there buddies. So plan to reach out to the getting their buddies before the end of next week, so about 10 days from now. And we'll have our first been there buddy catch-up meeting on the 11th of October, the second one on the 8th of November, which is a pretty specific to again, just kind of maybe talk about how it's going, ask for resources, ask for other questions. And I'll add that we had a discussion about time zones, and we think that we'll try and alternate which time of day those two meetings will happen at, so that we can attract the largest number of folks, be it North America, Europe, APAC, just to kind of vary that a little bit so that everybody can join for at least one. And then in mid-December, we'll have our final been there catch up, and we're planning some kind of, I would say, assessment of the program to just see how it's going, how we can rate it for 2025. And also just to give you an idea a little bit of engagement in terms of the character points between the been there buddy and the getting there buddy. I think it's up to each pair to figure out what kind of time they want to commit and what kind of connection they want to have. But in general, I feel like at least a once a week asynchronous checkup would be great, and maybe twice a month once a week asynchronous. Does that make sense? Like a text or an email or something like that. And then maybe twice a month synchronous catch-ups, like a video chat or a phone call, to just be connecting and forming those relationships. And that's it.
Amazing. Moving on, Kala, over to you.
Yeah. Well, this is just to really acknowledge the folks who have signed up to be as Been There buddies. As Jen mentioned, we have kind of matched the Been There buddies with the Getting There buddies. So of the folks who have already kind of submitted, filled out the form to be Getting There parents. So yeah, just want to acknowledge the beautiful faces here who have volunteered their time to be here. And as Jen mentioned, we do have more Been There buddies than we have Getting There. So there might be a couple who are not matched yet, but we are continuing to market the program, let the community know that this is a resource. So hopefully as we get more folks signed up, then we can match them again.
Perfect. Moving on.
And
Yes.
yeah, so when we were thinking about kind of what are some of the topics that the buddies can talk about, this came out of Supriya had actually piloted this program and participated in it at her workplace, and so had some kind of data around what topics were kind of interest that buddies wanted to cover, and as well as kind of my own personal research for the work that I'm doing. There's a lot around kind of anxiety with returning to work after a parental leave. How do you stay relevant while you are on leave? What does work-life balance look like now that you're a parent? There's a lot of things happening in the news right now around parental stress and burnout. And so there's just topics around that, like time management. So these are just some topics to help guide some of those discussion. But what we did find is that these general topics matched what folks inputted in the form, as well as kind of the interests that Been There parents have in terms of what they want to, what they're open to talking about with their buddies. So that's it.
Great, Kala. Thank you so much. And I also wanted to mention that this is not going to be more like a question answer session or kind of a mentor-mentee relationship. It's rather more of a conversation that's going to be engaging, empathetic, and it's going to be a learning curve for both the parties involved. So it's as being their parents, we are also going to be having a bunch of learnings, I'm pretty sure, like what we had in our workplace, because I could kind of resonate with what the retro said when we had this in the workplace. It was like, okay, as being their parent, when I connected and when I talked through certain things, I was able to get the feel that, okay, this is something that I could have probably done it a different way, or this was something that I learned new, even in terms of career progression and stuff. So yeah, I would definitely want to explicitly mention that this is going to be a massive learning curve for both parties involved, and this is going to be more kind of I would say ready to apply kind of state of learning, because whatever we learn, whatever we kind of see as part of this discussion is something that we could apply straight away with our children and kind of with our skills around better parenting. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to highlight as well. And we have been kind of putting our thoughts around how we could actually support the Being There parents as well, in terms of resources, in terms of guides, in terms of what they could share and stuff. But still we wanted to lay the flexibility of how the conversations can be baked between the Being There and the Getting There parent combination. So it's kind of free for you to kind of access the way you want, build it on a frequency that you're more comfortable with, but still kind of have those regular kind of check-ins, as Jennifer mentioned, in terms of, okay, this is how I've been doing, what is it that's happening with you? Even such granular steps can actually help drive those engagement and relationship between the being there and getting that parents. Yeah, that's pretty much what we had from the deck perspective, and we wanted to officially welcome you all to this program. And as I mentioned earlier, Jennifer, Carla, and myself are available. We are going to be hanging around the Parents Grow 2 cluster to answer any questions that you might have, any thoughts that you might have in terms of shaping the program, or any kind of feedback. Please do drop it across with us, and we'll take it from there. And now I'm going to be kind of opening the floor for questions. Alex, I know you're in the room. If you have any questions, probably feel free to kind of start posting them, and we can answer them. I would stop the recording at this point and kind of from there.